Today I greet you with the greeting of peace. What I want to discuss is about an experience that I had in Shoreline, Washington, when I was working at Seattle Children's Hospital. Everybody know I like to write, and for me, I like to go to these nice little coffee shops and stuff like that. But there's one day I was going on looking for a coffee shop, couldn't find any, so I went to this cafe called Rain Cafe. And so I went in there and they, and ordered my little coffee, but I also asked them if they had, what type of food. And so basically they had a dish, this chicken dish. And so I asked the guy behind the counter, he was, it was a hip place, so everybody there was like in their early 20s, and then they're dressed young and hip. It was a young hip Asian place, so it was pretty much all Asian, and I was the only black person there. So I asked the guy, I was like, is this chicken and noodle dish made with any pork, because I don't eat pork? First thing he asked me, he was like, are you Muslim? So I said, yeah, I'm Muslim. And then so he said, Assalamu alaikum, brother. He said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So it took me by storm, because everybody know Assalamu alaikum. But this brother here, he was like, I'm Muslim. And he didn't look Muslim. As a matter of fact, he didn't even look Asian. I mean, his face and his nationality was Asian, but the way he was dressed, he had on a baseball cap turned to the back. He had on a t-shirt, big baggy pants, and he had that whole, hip-hop look to him. So I was a little shocked, a little taken aback. And I was like, I said, Alhamdulillah, this brother spoke English better than me, spoke Arabic better than me. So he was telling me how he grew up amongst Muslims, a whole bunch of Muslims in the neighborhood that he grew up with, and a bunch of his friends were Muslim, and he would hang out with them. He would go to the masjid and everything, and he learned a lot about Islam. And when he became a teenager, he accepted Islam. And I was like, Alhamdulillah, this brother had a beautiful story. I mean, it was beautiful, but it was also surprising because of, all of the media and stuff like that. And so, of course, I would keep going back. And this brother would feed me for free. He would try to do whatever he could for me for free, and I'm trying to pay him, And so he was like, this is my shop. And this brother here, I was like, he was like, yeah, I own it. It's a good idea. He said, I came across some money, and so I'm just shaking my head, because you never would have expected this brother to be Muslim. So the moral of the story is, don't judge a book by the cover. And this guy, like, honestly, he didn't know me, but from every time I looked at him and every time he looked at me, I knew this brother loved me, and he loved me for the sake of Allah. He loved me for the fact that, Muslim. And we would hold 30 and 40-minute conversations, and I'd be feeling bad, because I'm like, he's got a business to run, so I'm trying to, but Alhamdulillah, and, I don't want to go on a preaching thing, but, I believe that one of our biggest problems today as a community, as a community and as a religion is, we're too busy trying to please and appease the status quo, or please and appease dunya, please and appease this country here, to the point that we don't even want to speak to each other. We don't even, honestly, I see Muslims, people in hijab, and I say assalamu alaikum to them all the time, and they won't even speak back, And I'm like, okay, well, I know this religion, I know the deen. The deen says, when a person gives you the greeting, gives you assalamu alaikum, it's almost mandatory that you have to give. If you claim to be Muslim, you have to give them the greeting back. And that's, that's not from you know, from anybody. That's from Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. So, you know, these people here, you know, they so afraid or they so whatever to the point where they won't even give you the greeting back. But, you know, this was a beautiful experience for me. And you know, and I think, you know, like one of the things is, you know, like we, you know, if it was a Muslim in fancy clothes, or if it was a Muslim that had, if it was a Muslim in fancy clothes or rich or had high status, you know what I mean, we would be jumping to say salam to each other or whatever. But the reality is, you know, clothes don't make the man. Clothes don't make you. You could be walking around here. You know, the Sahabas didn't dress. You know, you guys know the famous story of Umar radiallahu anhu when he opened up Jerusalem, what he was wearing and how they were saying you should wear this and wear that. So I'm not gonna, you know, go into too much, but I'm just saying, you know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to meet beautiful Muslims, true Muslims, Muslims that care more about the deen than dunya, that care more about their fellow Muslims. And with that, I'm Tony Pang, and that's One to Grow. Inshallah, we'll all get something out of it and benefit from it.